We're about to find out. You see your first ban coming in at Glaz. You already made a couple of ban predictions. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Demo and XR Troika will take you through map number 2 and see whether their ban predictions from earlier are correct.
Thank you very much, Panky. You always credit us. Well done for the Desk Coast. That's another thing. You don't have to credit Panky on doing that. I think he's done quite a good job, Ollie, hasn't he?
Panky is incredible to work with, very enjoyable. But looks like you're going to be wrong, Demo.
Wow.
Incorrect.
No way.
Maverick ban coming out and a Glaz ban as well. So did think that we were maybe going to see the Blackbeard ban coming into play, but it's obviously something that both teams are comfortable with letting in. Blackbeard can be a very, very popular operator on Consulate purely for the window play. Obviously, his face shield just makes him the perfect choice, really. Echo ban there coming out, but at least we're going to get, I'll give ourselves 2 out of the 4 there, I think, Demo. We got the Echo and we got the Valk.
I would say 3 or 4. I can expect a Glaz. I said that
earlier.
Yeah,
you can expect a Glaz,
because Lion isn't here.
Yeah.
Glaz is always going to be kind of that role, just because it is a map like Consulate, where it has those great lines of sight that Glaz can do. You know, you may think, oh, maybe he's only good for the garage take. If you have an admin push with Glaz going down that long desk, wow, that's terrifying to play against as well. Yeah,
definitely. Glaz can be, well, he's a key operator in pushing anything, really. The smokes and his ability just make him be able to be used multiple things, but not going to actually see the Blackbeard straight off the rip for MnM, which maybe they're going to choose to 6-pick into this, perhaps could, you know, lose maybe Ash or Zafir, but going to see a switch onto Jaeger. Maybe just baiting out the pulse there, trying to give MnM something to think about in terms of maybe doing a bit more of a thorough roam clear. But Jaeger more likely to be more useful for downstairs in the garage.
Attackers need to locate.
So moving into it will be at downstairs, like you said, and certainly looking at the lineup from Vexed, they have the ACOGs. They have brought the ACOGs to the table. They have Doki on the ever so important dock that he prides himself to be, not known as Doki-san, but Doki-san in many ways. And Maestro. For this bottom floor defense, he is great because you can get your Maestro cameras set up where it looks underneath the white van and you can stop the plant from there. It's a great little tool you can have. Just like that, when you can see right over towards the plant spot, the only way you can get rid of that is if you want to expose yourself and push around and get rid of the Maestro camera with an explosive that way. So the way that Vex are setting up, I'm sure that it will be some pretty good anchor plays. You're expecting Pi and Jesus primarily, because they've been there for so long. They've been the real big anchors. They know how to play it well. And then really the roam game is up to players like Doki, who possibly we could have seen the spawn kill come out because he's very known for doing those cheeky runouts and ranked strategies that he prides himself. And then also you have Coach Farrell and Zach, who can really put a big puncture, but maybe Zach trying to go for the bandit trick rather than an aggressive roam game than what we've seen from players last game from Secret, like Liam's playing a very aggressive bandit role.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've said before, aggression is something that Vex do very well. You can see Farrell's invested in ADS in the top of those stairs to try and hold it, but looks as though he's going to be sort of giving that up pretty early on and just rotating round to the spiral stairs, perhaps just to get a little bit of a different angle. But he is going to be on his own up here, which is going to make his job a little bit difficult, although we have got Pi up on the floor above, along with Doki. So maybe Farrell just going to rotate back up to that top floor and play with his team and sort of try and sort of deter this MnM push, which seems to be coming from admin. Just narrowly, doesn't know how close he is to a kill, but he's going to pick up his first one there onto Citizen, and a second onto Prox. Pre-fire again coming out, but Farrell there picking up 2 very important kills, sort of at the halfway point of this round. Losing your Buck, losing your Ash. Nello there going to be taking out Pi, and Frau going to be taking out Zach. So the kills do get traded out. We're going to be sitting on 3 operators per side, 3 versus 3. Plenty of utility left on both sides, really. An important plant denial, although you could maybe argue that losing the Legion was not the best thing. But Farrell there going to make his way back down onto site. Not got any more reason to roam as hard as he has been doing, and can just sort of start playing some angles. You can see there the difference in KD on the screen there is a little pop-out stat, so not all too much in it. 1.09 for MnM, 1.18 for Vex. So Vex just getting that slight advantage on the KD, which obviously, you know, will translate into victories in rounds 1.
So that couple of trades coming in. It's a bit of a trade where MnM, they've lost their aggressive players, they've lost their buck, but then Vexed, you know, they've lost their bandit, they've lost their legion, they've lost 2 anchors for 2 aggressive attackers. So a good payoff. You eliminate that bandit trick, so losing the buck, which was primarily there to stop the bandit trick, they don't have to worry about that. Another kill will go in favor of Vexed, however, as Doki with the ACOG will find himself one in a great position. This, pretty much from this position, Doki will be able to win the round. Null and void, really, from here. There's nothing MnM can do unless we see an immense shot being hit by Frau. Does find one for himself, but straight away pitches in. Doki will have the advantage using the verticality. 1 versus 2, and while Nello nowhere near the garage wall, just has to run on in. And I'm sure Doki will find himself a second kill. Actually rotates over towards yellow, as I've seen the quick running from Nello, but not enough time. He finds one for himself, but Doki will be there, and that will be the quick cleanup from Vexed. And Doki, just a little bit unsure how that was going to go.
I certainly think that was a little bit closer than it needed to be. I think, you know, we can see there the early stage in the round, Feral did a great job of picking up 2 early kills, but for that to come down to a 1 versus 1, it really, really could have gone either way at that stage. And I think that would give MnM a humongous boost if they'd have been able to clutch that one out. But at that point, it would have been pretty much down to luck at that stage, flicking around and finding the head of Doki. But Doki there, well placed to pick up that kill. Picking up 3 kills that round, so doing a great job for his team on the roaming dock.
So, let's well move into round number 2, and really this Prem, I think we've been quite gifted the fact that we have so many great players here, and you know, we've had coaches as well here on the desk with us. We had the best coach in the world, we had one of the best players in the world, and now certainly the level has came down quite a bit as we're joined by Leon on the desk. So, maybe not what we were expecting, but hey, we'll give him a shot. Everybody deserves a chance.
Good to be here.
Is that it? Just it's good to be here, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, got to get into it.
So, moving in. Well, Leon, this is a map that you played earlier. This is Consulate, a map which I would say is a map which you guys in general is secret. There's nothing really too complicated, I don't think you guys perform in Consulate. It's very dictated. The only thing which is very unique is that split bomb site you went for. And I think one thing to talk about is the bans. Pulse was off the board for you. Did that affect you quite heavily?
It affected our tellers a little bit. Nobody lucky being the primary Pulse player for our team, denying the fuses at the end of the round in the teller's bomb site. So it kind of put us back. We weren't quite sure where to put Lucky, but it didn't work out in the end.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I know that me and you have talked about, Ollie, is Pulse so much. You know, me and you have talked about it in week 7 whenever we cast it together. Whole emphasis was on Pulse. We've seen Clubhouse being played, we've seen how strong it was, and whenever an operator like Pulse is available, teams aren't taking him for the defense, which I'm quite shocked by.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's certainly an operator there that you could maybe rework or maybe switch out a little bit. 2 ACOGs, is a dock a viable operator for this kind of a bomb site? I get that you've got, you know, long angles upstairs and stuff to be held, but the vertical player that the Pulse can provide, and just the sheer, even if he doesn't get a kill with a Nitro, just the sheer information that he's able to gain, that's really what you're going to be looking at from your Pulse play. So it is strange that we don't see it picked a little bit more often.
So, Citizen working his way in towards long desk, and very aggressive standpoint. It's what we're expecting. This is Citizen, a great fryer already. Taking a couple of gunfights against the long ACOG angles off Doki, just tap firing away, but doesn't manage to land anything at the moment. Looking at the setup, I think that Vexed, they are holding quite strong, even more stronger as Pi manages to get first blood against Prox, and still more shots rattle back and forth, but nothing really affecting Vexed too heavily, and there we go. Finally, Doki will win that gunfight against Citizen before the refrag comes in from Nello. You've seen Habana rotate up towards that balcony just a little bit too late, as a majority of the defenders have dropped off and have given up that upstairs control because they know they did the damage and they've done everything they could, and it does put MnM in quite the scenario.
Yeah, they've done the damage and they've wasted the time. Moving into the final minute of the round now, it's time to get back down onto site and to start holding angles, start anticipating where this attack is going to be pushing from and where the attack is going to try and execute from at this stage. Doki very well placed at the top of main stairs, just ready to you know, peek on out to anyone that may be, but Turtle there going to be picking up a kill onto Feral. Pretty important kill at this stage. But you know, you're losing the Jaeger, you're going to lose someone that's got the ability to make that quick rotate. Obviously, it does leave 2 or 3 armors on the table, which are a little bit slower, maybe not able to make as quick a rotation, but Legion's going to be in the picture with the goo mines, ready for any denial that he may have left in his back pocket. But moving into the final 30 seconds, I think MnM have got to start making a bit of a play here, and they need to show their hand, because if they wait until the last second, Doki is very well positioned here to just start cutting anybody that starts to drop that hatch down. First engagement going to come through. Frau is going to come off the victor in that one, picking up the kill onto Doki, but now the onus is on MnM to get that diffuser down. Frau has got it in hand, and it is going down right now. Maestro unable to deny because he's getting a kill onto the guy outside, but quickly leaving us in a 2 versus 1. Diffuser didn't get put down, but it didn't need to. Nello there going to be picking up that final kill, and I've got to say that was definitely a great round from MnM. They took a good advantage in the end. It looks as though Vexed were clear to win that, really, but in the end, they managed to take advantage, and sometimes, you know, getting the kills and jumping off the diffuser is the thing to do.
They had a 5 versus 3 advantage, and they over-peaked.
Yeah.
This is what Vexed do. Leon, you've played against this team. Over-peaking is certainly in their capabilities.
It's a big downside to a team when it comes to over-peaking. When you've got that advantage, you want to play all 5 together, make sure you can get the refrags, because if you're going 1 by 1 by 1, you're going to be left with 2v0.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, and certainly for Vexed, that did happen. And moving on, we will see once again another Vexed defense inside of the lobby. Can they do anything different, Ollie? I would say it's going to be quite similar to what they've constantly done. They have the ACOGs, they try and play the long angles as much as they can, but somehow MnM, they won a round they never should have.
I think that they're certainly going to be able to do something. I think if they do very similar to what they did in that previous round, then they'll be stood in very good stead. They came out with a bit of a man advantage, and all of a sudden it was looking very good for Vexed. But until the kills started getting traded in those final few seconds, they just weren't on the right end of those trades, and MnM were able to win the gunfights when it mattered. But I think that there's no harm in going back down to lobby. It was certainly close. I think that they've just got to kind of tone it back now a little bit, because this is something that we've seen with Vexed. Sometimes they do get a little bit carried away, do start to over-peak things, and just dialing it down a couple of notches and understanding when to maybe use that aggression will stand them in better stead. I think if they hadn't peaked that, Doki could have probably played the top of those stairs for a long time until the plant was going down, and maybe tried to pick up the kills from there. It wasn't a great position, but you know, maybe there were different angles and different ways that they could have been playing that at that late stage, perhaps even from upstairs, if they'd have maybe made a late rotate back upstairs. So we'll have to see what they're able to do this time. We can see Doki back upstairs on the dock along with Pi, just ready to sort of slow down this MnM push.
This is mid-floor. This is one of the bomb sites which you would say third picked in the rotation. Split bomb site still there. Some teams like to go for it, some teams don't. They still think it's very new. And a split bomb site, we never really see any of those anymore ever since the old Hereford rotated out. We don't really see split bomb sites all too often. And Leon, talking about the mid-floor, it's a bomb site which has its ups and its downs, but for the most part, as soon as you lose top 4 control, that's a dead round from my opinion.
Yeah, you're very right in that. You've got to stay very coordinated, very controlled, keep everyone alive as long as possible. As long as you can get 2 people for the execute, it should be a good time to flank up if you've got the man advantage in a 3v5. They can't hold every angle, they can't hold everything, so eventually we'll get the diffuser down, killed, sorry.
Oh, we're going to suffer an unfortunate team kill there. Nello is going to take out Prox with the frag grenade, and that is not going to be what MnM need at this stage. Doki's going to follow it up with a kill of his own onto Citizen. Just peeking outside of yellow, saving his life, rotating back down to the main lobby area. And I'm not quite sure what happened there. Bit of a miss throw on the frag, but that's going to hurt him a lot at this stage.
I actually thought Doki was going to over-peak, just like we talked about, where the over-peaking really lets him down heavily. However, he will manage to find himself on him because he is the dock. He has that roaming capability because he can heal himself back up. And it's as if he never was touched. Another engagement, misses shots, completely whiffs it. Should have been an easy kill for the dog. Will he redeem himself? No! Frau with the Type 89 wins that gunfight, but still a 4 versus 2. Doki has done the work, and look at that, Feral, just the aggressive plays on the 416. He's been great with just catching people by surprise, going through these rotates, down the turtle, and another one for Coach Feral, even though he's an analyst.
Yeah, it was great. Feral got a great flank on the guy pushing Doki. Doki had a bit of an unnecessary aggression there, but Feral repaid for it and got the other guy as well.
Yeah, you know Feral pretty well.
Yeah.
Just to coach you.
Just a Blackbeard player.
He's a Blackbeard player. And certainly it's consulate, something that could have been a possibility. It still is because it is open. So especially your match, I know that you kind of left Blackbeard open. Is that something that you guys kind of prepped ahead, knowing that MnM just aren't a Blackbeard kind of team?
Oh, we banned Blackbeard.
Oh, did you ban it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, did they? Oh,
Blackbeard and Vat were both
another
banned.
L from Demo. I've been doing good this. I need a score counter for that. But yeah, it was Glaz you banned out for Clubhouse, wasn't it?
Yes.
And that was simply because you know that they have such a good Glaz and Montagna and stuff like that. That was another rough game for you as well, was that Clubhouse?
Yeah, let's not talk about it right now, yeah?
Ooh. Wonder if we'll see it in the grand final?
Who knows?
Possibly.
Who knows? It has been a very popular map this season.
Sorry, we'll beat them up after for all the information. Don't worry about that.
So we're going to be going downstairs now to Garage and Cafeteria for Vexed. Another Vexed defense round. They're going to bring the Frost this time. We've got Feral there, maybe trying to catch some unexpected kills. Frost isn't always an operator that you see all too often. It'll be interesting to see where those Frost mats get placed. And if they do, of course, manage to catch. Got one there in Copy, maybe another one. Yeah, got another one there in Admin. Just, you know, he's really at that point relying on a bit of light droning and a bit of maybe a rush on time from MnM. But historically, and I don't want this to be cast as curse, MnM are pretty good at droning and they're pretty good at, you know, taking what they need to take, getting into the side, getting themselves established. So I wouldn't think that they'd work, but you never know.
They're one of the slower paced teams. They have more of that drone work, more of that adaptability where they see what the setup is very early on, and they can kind of rotate around. And I think that was a great example on what they did for Bank. Perfect example was whenever that top floor, they were all spread out, they seen the weak point, and then everybody rotated towards that. It's a great kind of play style that they do fit themselves under. So getting into the round, and once again, MnM, a very standard lineup, nothing out of the ordinary. They have the hard breach, they have the soft breach to get rid of any bandit charges. Not running Thatcher, which I'm a bit surprised by. Thatcher typically for Consulate is almost a bit of an insta-pick. It's a bit of a weird one not bringing that, because it just makes getting rid of that garage so much easier. But the way that the MnM are trying to do it is having Citizen repel upside down with that Ash hole being made. And well, you can do it a couple of ways, but sure, just EMP's the easiest.
Certainly, and there's a lot to be said for time as well. Time management is very important. If you've got an operator that can do it very quickly, sometimes better to take the operator that can achieve the job pretty quickly, as opposed to wasting time and maybe losing your life. But quick kills coming out here. Prox picking up a double. He's going to take out Jesus, and he's going to take out Zach. Surely this is going to be MnM's round. Not sure what happened there, but Pi's managed to pick up a double as the players from MnM cross over. Pi getting very successful there from Yellow Stairs. He's going to pick up another one onto Citizen, but not before Citizen takes out Doki. Prox trading it back out. He's going to take out Feral. 2 versus 1. How have we got into this situation? Pi is doing a fantastic job thus far, but is he able to clutch this round out? The diffuser is now down. It is going to be down to Prox and Nello to defend this diffuse. They've got a pretty good idea of where it's coming from. Pi's putting out some pre-fire. Shots come through the wall. Pi very low health at this stage. Grenade comes out, forcing him to rotate. Nello going to pick up that final kill. What a round for MnM Gaming, but it almost wasn't. Pi did a great job from Yellow Stairs there, and I'm not sure how he got away with it.
Oh my, was that a very fast round. I think MnM just saying, hold on a minute. They're all roaming. Let's just charge the bomb site. That's exactly what they did. Pi, don't know how he done that, but fair play to him. This shot was immense right there. Just a quick pre-fire, managed to find the head. Just kind of have a little bit of hope. Maybe he could pull off the 1v5, but no. Just that need managed to push him into the clutches of the Vex. So that will be MnM, or clutches of MnM, should I say. MnM just taking that round, and then they will go 2 rounds apiece against Vex, and this will be the final attack and defense for both of these teams unless we hit to overtime. So now we're at this stage, Leon, where we've seen quite a lot of both of these teams. It's going to be the final attack and defense. More important about the defense, I would say, for Vexed is what have you seen that they've just not been able to cope with from MnM?
They like to take abuse of their weaknesses, like just at that last round. They snuck down the spiral stairs and flanked the guys inside of sight, leaving the guys above to come back down and try and retake. Unluckily, Pi couldn't get all 5 kills. He got 3 out of the 5, but the other guys had to step up as well in that scenario.
I think it's come back to what we talked about, is that, once again, flank rotations not being held.
That's it, you know, and it's something that we've seen earlier in Bank, and we're seeing it now again on Consulate. And it's so important to be able to hold your flank and be in that position to be able to trade out those kills. And it is something that on the face of it's very simple, but you've got to ask yourself, what's going on? What are the players doing instead of holding the flanks, and is that providing them some success elsewhere? Are they forgoing defending the flanks so that they're able to, you know, use those operators in other areas to develop the defense or develop their attack? And it's just all about which side they want to invest their utility and which side they want to invest their bodies in. Do they want to invest in holding flanks, or do they want to invest in pushing side and trying to trade out kills?
So once again, Doki, aggressive Doc. This is certainly his map where he performs so well on. He has the egg hog. We've seen the long, narrow angle battles that Doc just takes upon himself. It's one of those kind of maps where there's long-range engagements are so common, not just for the outside of the building, for example, spawn kills and quick jump outs from balconies and windows, but more so towards those long desk angles. That's very strong. In towards the garage fights, more long angles. Doc, very, very strong in the right hands, and they certainly do have somebody with the capable gun skill to take full advantage of a gun which has virtually no recoil, can do a lot of damage, especially if you just get that one-shot headshot. That's it, said and done. But moving in, we will see quite a hefty hold from Vex towards that yellow stairs, and also a bit of pressure in towards the east side as well, so possibly we may see the late rotates come in, or just some quick aggressive plays as Feral will be there with that Jaeger, just like he has been every single round. Doki still lurking for one, but no, decides to be that Turtle sees that as a lost cause and will rotate and help his team.
Yeah, definitely no harm in rotating at that stage, making sure that you're still alive and in the fight. Obviously, MnM going a man down there, so they're going to want to be trying to, you know, just G this round up a little bit and maybe try and get another advantage and try and get a kill. But they're going to have to find one at this stage, and Vex really aren't giving anything away. They're in a very good position to, you know, they're in a very good position to just hold angles here. They don't have to push anything. We know we've seen Vex overexpose himself, but was that a shotgun kill from yellow stairs onto the hatch? I think it was. That's going to be Prox falling. Zach there playing a great angle. Is he going to be able to get another kill? We saw this angle working so well in the previous game as well, but
who did that? Who did do that?
Is it going to be working again? Doesn't look like it. Coach Feral is going to pick up a kill onto Frau and pre-fires onto Nello, but Nello picks up that kill with the SMG-11, but he's lost a lot of health in the process. Only 2 attackers remaining. Doki going to pick up a kill. Nello going to pick one up onto Zach. 1 versus 3. Very, very difficult position now for the Sledge to be in with not a lot of time left on the clock. Not a lot of health, but he has got the diffuser in hand, but if he's going to be successful, he's going to want to try and break this down. I think he's probably at the point there where one Legion Mine would see him out of the fight, but he's going to pick up a great kill onto Doki. Absolutely snapping onto the Doc's head there, just making sure there's no one peeking in. But there it is, the goo mine coming out, clutching out the round, and that's going to be another round in the book for Vexed.
Well, I'm quite curious to see how then Vex will have in their attacks. This is Vex. We know they are the rush team. They are the team that just does what they want. Certainly, I'm kind of expecting to see a lot more of these aggressive operators being brought in, and certainly if you see an operator like Sledge, then we could see a potential rush because they kind of sledge the hatch, run straight into garage, if that's going to be the case, which, yeah, might be on for the rush. I'm going to make a bold predicament, but certainly that's something that is very, very common inside of Vex's strat book, which they actually do have a strat book with them. I was shocked. I know, you guys may be shocked, but it's true. I've seen it.
You've witnessed it?
I've written a strat in the book.
You've written one yourself?
Yeah.
Is it a thick document? Is there a lot in there, or is it just, you know?
Oh, no, it looks like a GCSE folder for like the most useless subjects you could choose.
Gonna see a 6 pick out there, which is a little bit unusual. I was hoping to see some Blackbeard play maybe there from Feral, but he's gonna switch onto the Thatcher, maybe go for a little bit more of a utility-based role, but it's gonna be a good prediction nonetheless, because it does appear as though MnM have chosen to go down into Garage.
Consulate, the second favourite map during the Prem, certainly one that we've seen a lot of times, a map which you've played a couple of times as well, Leon. It's Consulate one of those maps which certainly, ever since the map pool got reduced from 9 down to 7, has Consulate been one of those maps, not just here in Prem, but in all over of competitive stage. It's been a real map which a lot of teams have favoured now.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very structured map. You have to be very communicative with your teammates. It's there's only a couple general ways to push each bomb side, so you have to make sure everyone knows what they're doing, where they're going, and how to attack it. Communication is probably key on this map because you don't want people to flank up, and you want to hold them and make sure they all stay in the bomb site or around the bomb site and secure the frags.
Sounds like a good plan to me. And that is something that we've seen both Vexed and MnM struggle with in terms of holding the flanks. You know, they've not been able to maybe hold them as well as they could have done, and that maybe has cost them. But looks as though we're going to see a pretty heavy garage door push here as we've got 4 of the members of Vexed ready to breach in, and we're going to have Zach there going to make a nice big hole there right in the center. And all of a sudden we're seeing the aggression now from Vexed. The plant is going to be getting put off. Procs there on the Maestro, not really able to do all too much with it apart from gather some information. 2 quick kills coming out from MnM. Nello and Frau both picking up Jesus and Feral. Then 3 trading it straight back out, straight back onto MnM. The diffuser is down within the first 30 or so seconds of the round. Citizen is going to come in on yellow stairs. 2v2 we find ourselves in very quickly. Diffuser down, smoke grenades coming out, but they are too late. Players on Vexed are going to be holding this from a long way outside of the garage. No reason for them really to come any closer or peek. It's all on MnM now to make these gunfights and challenge these Vexed players. There we go, Citizen getting some good shots in there, but not enough. He's on the defuse. Citizen's able to pick up 1. He's able to pick up 2. Has he got time to put the defuse? I think he has. What a fantastic clutch there from Citizen. Doing what it takes and getting the job done. There we go, MnM. The aggression that Vex brought to the table there really looked like it had paid off for him, but Citizen holding tight, picking up 2 very crucial kills. Frau there doing his best to get the defuse down, but ultimately Citizen there coming in to pick up the pieces.
Well, we knew it was coming, and it came in thick and fast for the players of Vex. But MnM, what a retake. We have to commend them. That is not easy to do. That's one of the hardest positions you can retake from, is that garage wall. As soon as the diffuser gets planted in the open, that's where it's just all in favor of the attackers. All of a sudden, defenders become the attackers. They have to then try and push out and aggress. You have to commend them. It was a great bit of work.
That shouldn't be able to happen at this type of level of play where you've got the diffuser down, you've got the wall open, just play your angles, play far away. The diffuser's in quite a bad position to do that, so it's kind of awkward for them. They should have opened the other wall instead, so they play very far back. But it allowed them to retake it very easily because of the aggression.
Yeah, that's always something that you're going to struggle with when you try and rush it like that. There's maybe you're not able to get in the correct position to plant the diffuser, so you kind of have to take that on the chin with it. But yeah, you'd certainly think that that was a round in the bag for Vexed, and especially at the stage they're at. It was, you know, it was quite a crucial stage, that, because they were 3-2. Now all of a sudden they're taking this to 3-3. We're seeing this back and forth yet again, and ultimately it's going to be down to which team is able to, you know, break that cycle. Which team's going to be able to chain 2 rounds together, and you know, where's that going to take us? You know, who knows at this stage. We're going to see MnM defending upstairs. I'm not sure. What do you think, Demo? Is this something that they can do? We're seeing the pulse come out at least. That's something we've been asking for.
Also the alibi, which I don't think we did ask for. I don't think I said play alibi, did you?
I didn't ask for it.
It's a bit of a weird one, but Citizen, he's been known to play these kind of off-meta defenders, especially. You know, he's one of the only guys which I know which still means Ella after being hit, you know, so hard with a nerf, which seems time ago. You know, we're almost coming, I believe, to the 9-month mark since she was released, and that's like, whoa, back 9 months ago, Ella just ruled the meta, but he still plays that, even though the SMG is not as good as what it once was. The guy still pushing the frags, and if he wants to play Alibi and give her a bit of play, then sure, by all means he can. However, First Blood will go in favor of Doki as he gets revenge on his team captain from DreamHack Winter. This is certainly a bit of a I'm better than you moment for Doki. That's why I was on your team. So yeah, a bit of a personal vendetta, I would say, that Doki has against MnM, and certainly proven it here today.
It's a huge kill to pick off in the first instance, you know, to lose a pulse in the first few seconds of a round, and for the Ash to be well established within the building at that stage. Obviously, Doki's wasted no time in getting in. Obviously, had a good idea of where Prox was going to be, and is that something that's come through teaming together? Is that like a bit of a player tendency and knows what Prox is likely to do in that scenario? Coach Feral picking up 2 kills back to back. Turtle and Frau going to get taken out. Pi going to get one onto Nello, and all like that, it's going to be over. Doki's going to pick up that final kill. Another really quick round, but this time going in the favor of Vexed.
That round was over before it even started.
How has he done it?
Vexed. That's just Vexed in general. We know they are the team that does this stuff. They're the ones who have this aggressive standpoint. They're the ones who put in all off the burners to make sure they can get in as quick as they can, put immediate pressure on to the defense. And well, MnM, I think they just got caught got caught out one by one, just fell, overpeaked. They all got gunned by Feral. I know gunned by Feral, something we don't say all too often, but hey, Feral once again proving why he is one of those standout players for Vexed, and why he is at this level of play where he's just fragging out and just so well, I must say. Looking at the kill feed, Doki up there with 11, Feral closely behind with 8. Nello really putting all on the line. 10 kills for him. And just at the bottom, Turtle only 1 kill to his name. Maybe it's his first land jitters. No, Leon, you didn't really have that issue for your first land.
No, I won that one.
Is there like something just about your first land? Is it nervous? Is it not so nervous? Do you just get into it? Does it take a bit of time to warm up?
Well, it's a different environment when you're playing online compared to online. Obviously, you've got very low, no ping at all. It's very reaction-based instead of just peeking around the corner getting your peeker's advantage. Most of the time, people will tend to fall under the pressure of that because you're in front of people behind you watching. It's very hard on you. But as soon as you get past that, it's a lot better than online.
Yeah, certainly. It must be difficult coming into, you know, a live audience arena and all this sort of stuff and having admins watching you and stuff like that, so you can really understand how and why that plays in the way that it does. But it's, kills don't always tell the full story. No. And, you know, we know this as support players in Siege are as important as fraggers in most cases. So, you know, it's always difficult to judge somebody on the amount of kills that they're going to be getting, but looks as though he's found himself onto Jaeger this time, so perhaps able to maybe do just a little bit more. But we're going to see what Vex brings to the table this time. We've had 2 hyper-aggressive rounds from them back-to-back. Looks as though we're going maybe for a little bit slower. Doki there actually in his drone in the first 30 seconds and not in the building getting kills, so no doubt this is going to be a slight bit slower from Vex, but maybe this is what they're trying to achieve. You know, they're playing a little bit slower because they've used the aggression, they've turned it on, and now they're dialing it back, and they're just being very unpredictable all the time.
So, more aggressive once again from the players, and wow, Feral running with stun grenades over frags, and just gets absolutely obliterated trying to rappel in through the window, but I do believe that we did see one player, Jesus, I believe was trying to wiggle his way in, maybe Pi, so a couple of players just over towards the admin have managed to enter in. However, Citizen will make them fall right back out as he manages to find Zach. Doki playing as this kind of lone slayer. We've seen this a couple of times from teams where they just play one guy by himself, so he just does his own thing. Pi rotating up Spiral will find one, and then quick 3 versus 3 into a 3 versus 2. However, as Frau will be there with the refrag. So both players on the attack beside the Spiral stairs. They're going to have to work in conjunction with each other if they want to try and make this a possibility of a comeback. Comes in, they know they have to get diffuser, but nobody will be there trying to hold that, as most of them are sitting back and holding all of their angles in sight as much as they can. Doki and Pi starting to rotate. They are 2 of the best fragging operators. They have IQ as a great gun, 5.52, and of course Ash speaks for herself. Frau, I'm sure he probably still has a C4 to try and toss out and try and deny access as much as he can, and Prox can keep continuing with the intel with any evil eyes down towards that long corridor, and then Nello is constantly making those goo mines. What a shot from Pi. However, the refrag comes in once again from Frau. 2 versus 1. Doki was not there for the follow-up. One person rotating in towards yellow. If Doki manages to find the Legion, it will be an immense kill. He knows he's going to be in towards bathroom. Sprints across. Does he see him? Yes, he does, but just decides to back off. Still 40 seconds to go. More shots Prowl out. He flashes himself in a 1 versus 2. Pushes on in. Sees the mirror. Manages to find the mirror. 1 versus 1. Legion versus the Arch, and he will get it! Doki with the clutch, send Vex into match point!
What a fantastic, fantastic clutch there from Doki. He did absolutely everything right. He managed to break it down. Despite flashing himself at the last moment, it didn't look like it was going too well at that stage, but he managed to pick up those last 2 kills with relative ease, and certainly a very good round there from Vex. Moving them on to match point. Bit of a missed opportunity there from MnM for sure. You don't really want to be losing those 2 versus 1 situations. When you've got the man count, you know, you really should be trying to get those trades and come out with a kill, but not really in a position to rotate, not really in a position to trade. Doki taking great advantage of that one. Moving on to match point.
13 kills. 13 kills for Doki in 8 rounds. Almost 2 kills every single round, and especially for Vexed, where some of those rounds are very, very quick, sometimes without a kill. Then yeah, he's doing pretty good. So, Leon, let's say you're Vexed in this scenario, you have your match point, just like you guys did earlier on. What's the best way to kind of keep your composure? Because we know Vex, they are a team which sometimes mentality kind of slips to them. We know that they do have some issues just inside their team sometimes in general, arguing, what have you. this is certainly a time where you don't need that, and this is where you really need to kind of compose yourself and make sure you keep a cool head.
Definitely, yeah. You just need to keep cool. You need to talk to your teammates, see where everyone is in the final parts of the round. Play together, make sure you're refragging each other as a key part there to take in this bomb site. As long as people don't go over-aggressive and stay passive, or not too passive, but in the middle, they'll do perfectly fine.
For Vexed, that's a bit of a hard one to do.
You know, you say that in the middle, and I think, you know, you said it quite casually, and just play in the middle, but that's the difficulty, isn't it? It's finding that middle ground, and it's finding that balance between aggression and, you know, basically AFK. You know, and it's deciding where you fall in between that and what's appropriate for that round.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, there could be opportunities that arise, and they could go and try to do that, but that's a risk that some teams will be willing to make. Some teams won't do that, and then they might miss out on winning the round. But this is definitely a team that will take the risk.
Ooh.
As I say that, two guys
Seeing some very early aggression there. Citizen and Turtle taking out Zach and Feral. So MnM trying to counter this aggression, maybe trying to fight fire with fire and just bringing some of the aggression of their own to the table. Certainly getting an early advantage there onto Vexed. That's not really where you want to be moving into match point. Doki there, heavy shots coming in onto the top of yellow stairs, but he manages to pick up the kill onto Frau. Very lit in the process. Nello there going to pick up a quick 2K. Pi and Doki falling. Now it is all down to Jesus. MnM there have got all the kills that they need in a very, very short space of time. 4 kills inside the first minute is absolutely no mean feat. It's now all down to the Sledge to try and clutch this round out. In a very difficult position, there's a lot of utility left on the table of MnM, and he's got a hard job here. He's got to try and break this down. 2 minutes left on the clock, plenty of time. There's not a load of pressure on him to win this round. It's not a must-win round. They've got a bit of a buffer in there. If he does lose this round, they are, of course, still on match point. It'll put MnM onto 4, so that wouldn't be the end of the world. He's obviously going to want to try and do his best, but at the minute, he seems to be just playing for time and maybe waiting for MnM to get a bit impatient, get aggressive, make a push of their own, which, at this stage, they've got no business doing. They need this round to stay in the tournament.
He is one of 2 people that I only know to play left-handed. Left-handed player. I know. I seen him playing earlier, and it's like, wow. Takes some skill to play left-handed away. You know, you have to like maneuver your right hand then to go over all the way to the left-hand side of the keyboard. Very, very awkward in most circumstances. But hey, we'll see if the left hand can work wonders for Jesus. Can he pull off a miracle? This is one I've used quite frequently this season. Jesus gets a couple of pre-fires in, but doesn't really land anything. Still has a minute to go, but everybody from MnM have the angles being held, and he's just stuck in a corner at this stage, and that will be the easy cleanup from Turtle. And well, MnM, they live to fight another day.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think the key to that was the aggression. They turned it on. It's not something that we see all the time from MnM. They're often quite, you know, slow, methodical players that tend to take the time in getting to, you know, setting themselves up for a good execute and then executing very well. That time we saw totally different. 2 spawn peaks, I think it must have been. Well, certainly because the guys were dead pretty much straight away. So 2 spawn peaks straight off the rip. It certainly gives Vex something to think about. You know, are they going to worry about it this time? Maybe it's going to slow their approach a little bit in terms of making them do a little bit more heavy droning and stuff like that. But you can see there from the kills that Doki's still sitting on 14, and Nello there, I think he picks up 3 kills that round, so he did a great job sitting there on 12.
I believe that was actually a rush from Vexed, as the diffuser was just outside the kitchen door in the first 20 seconds, which is probably the first thing MnM expected to happen, because they've got the momentum, they're about to win. Obviously, they're going to do something very aggressive, and that was pretty quite a bad play, in my opinion.
Yes, Vexed, it's a very common strategy we've seen plenty of times. They've done it, I believe that's the 4th time they have tried that particular back rush in the entire season. So certainly if MnM have done their research, if they've done their job, if Gig, their coach, has looked at what Vexed have done, which sometimes a little bit hard to really predict what Vexed does because we never really know, then yeah, they were well set up for that. I just think it's in everybody's mind whenever it's a garage attack for Vexed. You just always expect a rush because that's what they do every single time.
Yeah, definitely, and it's having the ability to make that read and making the bold decision to try and counter it straight off the rip, and that's what MnM did very well in that situation. They read it, they countered it, they come out with the round. Now what they're going to do upstairs here. The game is not over by any stretch of the imagination. MnM win this and it goes into overtime and then it's a different story. Definitely anybody's up until this point. It's all going to be about how they manage to defend this top floor objective, but I can't really see them doing anything too differently. They've not got the pulse this time. It's not really worked out too well for them. It's certainly not worked as well as it did on Bank for them, but it would have been nice to see the pulse maybe for that little bit of denial. Yeah. Just for a little bit more intelligence gathering in the early stages.
Yeah, maybe if they wanted the pulse, they could have asked Ace to come play for them. You know, could have done that as well. But yeah, Pulse, like we said, early intel, you can play them below inside of archives. You can pulse over towards admin. If you see people repel admin, oh, it's an admin push. If nobody's there, oh, it's a B push. It's very, very simple to gain that early intel to where exactly the attack will be coming from, and especially whenever we see people from Vexed inside of admin, this would be great. They kind of counter that rush mentality. Look how close Doki is already within a minute. Already inside of copy room, ready and poised to try and take the gunfights. And if Pulse was there, Doki could be dead right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Doki certainly is not the kind of player that will waste any time in getting into the building. He establishes himself very quickly. And you can see he's even doing his own drone work here, just getting a bit of a sight count, finding out who's playing where. And all of a sudden, they've pretty much got long desk control at this point, and they're going to be starting to move through and push on. Pi there coming out of the first kill onto Frau. Smoke off the board. Halfway through the round, Smoke's going to be a massive utility loss. That was a kill from one of the on the rappel on the window. Doki there going to be throwing some stun grenades in. Manages to stun himself yet again in the same place, but not as bad as he did the first time. Barbed wire getting destroyed, pushing on into the side. Shots come in, he manages to pick up the kill onto Nello. That's a kill he had no business getting whatsoever. Diffuser is going down. Doki's going to be covering that angle. Is he going to be able to pick up another kill? No. Feral is going to take it from him. Citizen is going to fall. Pi going to pick up one onto Prox. All now it lies in the hands of Turtle. Jesus is going to pick up that kill onto Turtle very quickly, and that is going to be the game.
I'm very surprised there, actually, that MnM gave up admin so early. Last time it worked so well for them, but they just put it in a 1v2 and lost the 1v2. If they did that again, definitely they could have taken that round for sure.
Yeah, that was definitely another hard-fought battle for these players. Again, you have to commend Vexed and their determination and the way that they've rallied. I think the crowd speaks for themselves too. We can claim MVP. The man was on another level compared to the MnM team, and certainly I'm sure MnM were sitting here wishing, if only we had him back in our team.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can't argue with the amount of frags that he got. I think he probably ended up with 16, I believe. You know, it's a hell of a number in the way that he conducts himself in the match and the way that he actually gets into the bomb site, into the map, and is able to establish himself. You know, fantastic plays, and yeah, certainly the MVP for that round, for that matchup for me, definitely.
So we have our decided match for later on, coming right up after a couple of breaks as well we'll have in there, but certainly it's going to be a Vexed versus Secret. Well, who would have expected that one? Probably a lot of us, I would say.
But, you know, it's a big final. I think the game that we've certainly watched could have definitely gone either way. It was very, very back and forth, and, you know, Vexed ended up running away with it in the end. But ultimately, it was anybody's right up until the final whistle. And, you know, good games to both sides for the way that they performed, the way they conducted themselves, but ultimately Vexed with the victor. So, you know, it's going to be an exciting final anyway. I think it's what everyone wanted, isn't it?
I think that we couldn't really have called it any other way. We knew, yes, MnM, great showing from Winter, but the missing piece for their Prem team is not having Doki, who is with Vexed here, and well, he will have a grand final appearance. Secret versus Vexed. Boy, just thinking about it just makes me think, how is that going to go? Because we know just from past experience, Secret demolished Vexed in the current league standings as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the round count that, the map count and the win counter that's looking for, you know, versus the two teams is significantly different. Secret obviously had a fantastic run. Vexed didn't do terribly. They only lost once, but there was a lot of draws scattered amongst that as well. And that's something that we've talked about. It really is the aggression, and it really is the willingness to peak just about anything. And it's going to be all about how the team as a whole, and, you know, maybe Ferrell's going to be able to pull them back in line and just say, look, guys, we've got a shot now. Yeah. We've got a really, really good shot of doing this. We've got some fantastic talent on the team. We're very, very capable players, every single one of us. If they play it in the right way, who's to say? Who's to say they can't take the whole thing?
I think if Feral can manage to pull in Doki, which is by no means an easy feat, because the guy just does what he wants.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you say pull in, but look at the amount of frags that he got last game.
Personally, if I was Feral, I'd just let him do what he wants. Just let the dog free, and just let the Scotsman do what he wants, because as you can see, whenever he's behind an Ash and he can put so many frags on the board, that is the crucial finisher that really just pushed Vex to another level. There is the stats. Total kills, 32 for MnM and 41 on the side of Vex. Wow, that's pretty, I would say, fair enough you know, in terms of, you know, the level we've seen, it wasn't as close because we didn't go to overtime for this console, which I was kind of expecting overtime. I thought MnM, looking into it, they performed so well, but I think the big thing to take away is that sometimes just Citizen Turtle, first LAN, you can kind of see that they did struggle just a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely see that players maybe letting the day maybe get the better of them just a little bit, but it's a great environment for them to get that experience and then to build on it from there. It obviously doesn't end here. You know, they're going to go on to do bigger and better things, I'm sure. So, you know, it really is about having the opportunity to play at a LAN, getting that experience in, really having a good time on the day and enjoying it with your friends. And ultimately, I think that's probably what's gone on today.
So let's hear from Vexed and see how they have took their victory and possibly how they are preparing against Team Secret. Let's roll over to Panky, who is on stage with Vexed.
Thank you very much once again, Demo and XR. I am joined here on stage by Doki, the man of the moment from Vexed Gaming, of course. That was an incredibly dominant performance. Congratulations, first of all, for making it through to the final. Going into that game, did it play out the way you expected? How was your preparation felt, and did it feel right?
So, as a lot of you know, I played for MnM last week in DreamHack, minus Citizen and Turtle, so it was me and Fonkers in their place. So I kind of knew how they played, because we've been scrimming for a while as well. And to be fair to MnM, they played exactly how we prepped for them. So we knew how they were going to play. We kind of won the ban phase. We knew that we wanted to play Bank and Consulate. We knew they were very strong in Consulate, but we knew how to counter them, so I think we did that well. And the op bans as well, ban and Maestro, ban and Echo, it worked in our favour. So
a lot of that inside information and just good preparation helped you for MnM. Heading towards the final, were you expecting to find Secret there, and do you have similar preparation in line for that?
Well, Unnamed played very well against Secret, so we were kind of thinking they were going to take, especially map off them, so we were kind of 50-50 on who to prac for, but you know, Secret are a Pro League team, they're one of the best teams in EU Pro League right now, so yeah, I don't know, we'll see. But our strat book is, we've got a strat book here for Vexed Gaming, and we have one strategy to beat Secret, and it's just kill Leon, and we win, pretty much.
It's the only pro team I think I've seen with an actual playbook for Siege, and it's pretty extensive, but for Secret, it seems pretty simple. Do you have any last words you want to say?
Just GG to MnM, and we played really well, so.
Congratulations once more, good luck in the final.